In giant news that largely went unnoticed, Panasonic just announced that they're planning to expand their partnership with Tesla to produce updated versions of both the 2170 and the 4680 battery cells as early as this year. Panasonic's Chief Technology Officer announced that they will expand battery capacity and productivity at the same time by building a new $4 billion factory in Kansas to produce the 2170 batteries and yet another factory for the 4680 cells. What's really interesting for Tesla investors is there now a possibility that this new effort could actually make the Model 3 qualify for the EV rebate? We've got Hans C. Nelson here with us, and we're going to watch him, have him explain this. He's got quite a bit of knowledge on the battery progress. Thank you, Hans.
Thanks for having me, Herbert.
Follow him on his YouTube channel as well. So let's take a look at this news that dropped. Just so many news yesterday, and I think few talked about this. So Tesla could have its key cheaper EVs as soon as this year, thanks to Panasonic. I think this is a big, giant news. We wanted to hear more partners that Tesla could offer. Tesla could potentially offer cheaper prices on electric vehicles in the near future, as Panasonic expects to roll out its updated and refined versions of the 2170 and 4680 battery cells as early as this year, its Chief Technology Officer for EV batteries said. Tesla and Panasonic have worked together for years. They jointly operate the Giga Nevada facility. They're very good partners. And remain in an effort to remain at the top of the EV landscape, growing quickly with new competitors, new technology. They're going to try to continue to improve this. And then so it's revolutionizing its 2170 and 4680 battery cells that's now Tesla's now using for Model 3, Model Y. So the CTO of Panasonic said that we're going to expand both the battery capacity and improve productivity at the same time. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, really, that they are trying to grow the cell supply of 2170s specifically. I, kind of would have expected 2170 form factor to not be a big part of future expansion plans for Tesla, but obviously with Panasonic, making big investments in building out new capacity for 2170s, that's not going to be the case. And so you have to ask the question, which vehicles are those going to be allocated to? And the obvious answer is Model 3 and Model Y that, we have seen Model Ys produced with 4680 packs in the past, but those models have been sunsetted. And, now we're back to either LFP or 2170 in the Model 3 and Model Y platforms. And so I think this says that, they could potentially be expanding the overall production capacity for Model 3 and Model Y moving forward. And they're planning to use these 2170s from Panasonic to do that. And if, one of the things that having that production capacity built here in the United States means is that those vehicles will continue to be eligible for the EV tax credits. And that means that those vehicles can be offered at a much lower price to consumers now that the tax rebate is taken at point of sale, which is going to be huge for the adoption of EVs and just the continued dominance of the Model Y and probably increased dominance moving forward of the Model 3 as it gets to take advantage of more credits, and they can bring that price down to an even lower point. And so, the economics really start to shift strongly in favor of those two vehicles being extremely compelling for the United States market and really much of the Western market overall.
I want to talk to you more about that comment about the EV rebate, but let's go back to what they just announced. I think this is a massive news. This is big, big, big. Here's Panasonic saying that they want to increase production by 10%. And to do this, they're going to build a new factory in Kansas, $4 billion effort to produce the 2170 cells. I mean, we need more factories, and they're going to invest $4 billion. And then a separate plant is going to be built for the 4680 production. This is, we've been waiting for 4680 to ramp up. This is one of the ways it's going to do it. So there's going to be a new U.S. facility, 2 of them. The third factory's location will be revealed by the end of the fiscal year in March, so a couple months from now, and it's expected to need thousands of employees. And right now, Oklahoma is in the running. But Panasonic turned down $700 million in state incentives to build a new plant there, it said in December 2023. So we still don't know if it's going to be Oklahoma or where it's going to be. But 2 factories, Hans, 2 factories with big, giant investments. I mean, how could Tesla investors not be really, really excited about this news?
Yeah. So I think this shows that the 2170 plant is a little bit further down the process and will probably be the first one to get started to break ground and probably the first one to scale up to large scale. But it is also very important that we do see Panasonic producing 4680s. And so this is going to be, as far as I know, the first manufacturer outside of Tesla's in-house team to actually produce 4680s, and it does signal the beginning of a shift towards the 4680 form factor as a dominant cylindrical form factor for all EVs moving forward. And so I think that that is another incredible piece of information and an incredible signal moving forward. You know that the concept that Tesla has created for the 4680 is a very viable concept, and that it is something that is worth copying by other manufacturers.
So let's get back to this. The benefits for Tesla, right? So if they do this, Sawyer tweeted this out. He said, "If the new cell brings down the cost enough and enables higher output, maybe then the new Model 3 could qualify the EV rebate." I know you addressed it a little bit earlier, but can you just let me
Yeah.
know more
So
about
what
your thoughts here?
I believe what Sawyer Merritt is referring to when he says higher output, that doesn't necessarily mean an increased quality cell that, maybe has more energy density or any of those types of things. He's just talking about the number of 2170 cells that are available for Tesla to use in whatever products that they like. And because they're produced domestically, that means that Tesla will have the ability to take advantage of the full EV rebates and tax incentives that are in place through the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, that is really the sustainable energy stimulus bill.
Okay, so lots and lots of good news here. Regardless if the EV rebate, it's just a potential, but at least it's a potential there. And then the other thing is just batteries, 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 and we need more factories. And
Yep.
here we are, Tesla partner with Panasonic. Big news.
Well, and
All right.
it's also cool to see the just continued uh, proof that what Elon said about Tesla having their own battery manufacturing capacity was not going to compete in any way with the cell
Mhm.
supplies that they were planning to purchase from other manufacturers. So this would include Panasonic. This is going to include CATL and others that, you know, these other companies have plenty of opportunity to survive and thrive and not necessarily be in competition with Tesla or battery production, but actually be in cooperation with them and for Tesla to be one of their largest customers as well. So, yeah, great to see for the industry as a whole. And it is a positive sign for the transition to sustainability for all of Earth.
It's a positive sign for Tesla investors also.
Yes,
Thank
it
you for
is.
doing this topic with me, Hans. I appreciate your knowledge here. Follow him on his YouTube channel, Hans C. Nelson. Thanks, everybody. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.